Welcome to the E2E channel, where successful entrepreneurs share their insights with aspiring entrepreneurs. Today, we are with Ron Finkelstein, the founder and president of ACRIS, the Small Business Success Experts, founder of the Business Leadership Association, co-founder of Northeastern Ohio Business Conference, Celebrating Success, a business coach and mentor, and author of the books Celebrating Success, 14 Ways to Create a Successful Company, and the book just about to come out, The Platinum Rule for Business Mastery. That was a mouthful.
It was. You did a great job, though.
Welcome, and it's an honor to be with you today.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
What motivated you to become an entrepreneur?
For me, I had no choice. September 1st, 2001, I lost my job. September 11th hit, and the whole job market shut down for a very long period of time. And I had to decide if I wanted to stay in Northeast Ohio or if I wanted to leave. And I was initially going to leave Northeast Ohio, and I had a brief discussion with my daughter, who was a sophomore in high school. And her name was Emily, or is Emily. And I said, Emily, finish high school. Wherever I end up, you can join me when you graduate. And my daughter's a great lady, but I wasn't sure she understood the implication of what I was saying. And she came back a week later and said, if I go to summer school, I can graduate a year early. And I said, why would you do that? You're giving up character count, Latin club, coach on the soccer team. And she goes, I just don't want to be away from you for 2 years. For me, that was a totally defining moment, and I made 3 decisions. My skills are great. There's no reason for me to be unemployed. My problems are not my children's problems, and I'm tired of hearing about bad news in Northeast Ohio. I'm going to do something about it.
Mother of invention.
That's right.
You've written a book, Celebrating Success, 14 Ways to a Successful Company, where you have interviewed and learned from about 50 successful small business owners and managers.
Yes.
What prompted you to take on that endeavor?
Well, one of the challenges for me is I needed to focus on something positive. So I started a business conference, and because we had no traction, and everybody who nominated themselves, I went out and did a 2-hour interview with. And my intention was never to write a book. But what I realized after interviewing these companies is they all did the same thing. And there was just too much value in the information not to do the book. So it didn't come because I planned to write it. It came as a result of the project that I was doing to build the Celebrating Success Conference.
As an entrepreneur, and obviously a successful business coach, personal coach, and mentor, what did you take away from those 50 very in-depth interviews with successful people?
That's a great question. The biggest thing I took away from that is there's only one thing that separates a small company from a big company, and that's measurable, repeatable, predictable processes. Big companies found out what they did right, and they institute processes so it happened repeatedly, and small companies typically don't do that.
Why do you think that is?
Discipline. It takes discipline to do that, and it also takes an initiative to work on the business versus in the business, and many of the business owners at the lower level are too much in the business and not on the business.
How do you define the difference between working in the business and working on the business?
Working on the business is very simply putting together the plan and executing the plan and staying focused on the plan. Working in the business is going out there and doing sales and collecting receivables and paying the bills and things like that. And they get so caught up in the business that they don't do the necessary planning to work on the business.
In other words, working hard to be your own employee.
That's right.
Versus leadership.
Yeah, create a business where you're no longer needed.
One of the things we are attempting to do is to help people make decisions. Should they be an entrepreneur? Do they have the skills? Do they have the talents? Do they have what it takes to be successful? You've done a lot of study. You're working with a lot of people one-on-one. You know basically what it takes to be successful, and you are yourself. Tell us, who should be an entrepreneur? Who should be interested? What should they think about?
For an entrepreneur, the toughest thing is you've got to absolutely be passionate about what you do, because you're going to hit barriers and issues that you just didn't think about. And if you don't have that passion, you're going to lose interest and you're going to quit. So you've got to have that commitment and that passion. You've got to be able to make a decision. You need to be focused, and you need to be disciplined. Those are very big issues for starting a business.
Do you consider those to be the attributes that are there just about all the time with successful entrepreneurs?
Yes, and there's one that I really promote and I believe in heavily, but it makes people uncomfortable, and I call it selfishness or intelligent self-interest. Small business owners know what they need to do to be successful, and they focus on that from a selfish perspective. So they're really clear about what they want to accomplish, and we're taught in a society never to be selfish. Well, there is such a thing as intelligent self-interest or positive selfishness.
Absolutely. Who should think about becoming an entrepreneur in today's economy?
If you're interested in taking control of your own destiny and taking control of your own lifestyle, and you're willing to make that personal commitment and that sacrifice, that's a big part of it. If you're comfortable working in a company with somebody else, if you don't want to make the decisions, if you don't want to have the long hours, and I do mean long hours, it's not an 8 to 5 job, it's more like an 8 to 8 job, 7 days a week.
Absolutely.
Then you're a great candidate. If you don't mind working hard, making decisions and sacrificing, and you have something you're very passionate about, you ought to consider exploring your own business.
There are a few simple steps that a person can take besides going to a business mentor or a business advisor, which certainly is one of those few simple steps they can take. What are the first things a person should do if they're thinking about going into business for themselves?
Well, you've got to understand you don't know everything. The successful people I studied created a board of advisors or a mentor or somebody that they could go to kick issues around with. The other thing is that self-learning and personal growth is critical, in my opinion, to a successful business owner, because you're going to have to change how you do things, and your views and your beliefs will all be tested and changed. And then the biggest thing is have your plan. Spend the time on the plan, because that'll tell you where the holes are, that'll tell you where the challenges are, and ask people to give you feedback. People love to help you, and they will if you ask them in the right way.
What are your goals for the next several years, Ron?
I would really love to build my speaking career, and I'm planning on building a whole program, a sales program around selling for the non-sales professional, because entrepreneurs don't want to be sales reps, but they have to sell.
Of course.
So this program is to teach them how to sell using their own personal strengths versus learning professional sales skills that teach you more how to manipulate and move something forward. It's being comfortable with who you are and using that to develop your sales skills.
In northeastern Ohio, as a business economy, where do you see us going?
The upside in Northeast Ohio is phenomenal. The challenge that I see, though, is Northeast Ohio has a tendency to be overly conservative and almost has an entitlement mentality. So if we can realize that there's nothing in Northeast Ohio, let me rephrase that. Northeast Ohio is a great place, and we've got to understand it and promote it. Instead of saying, why did you move here? Say, thank you for moving here. It's a great place. It can be that simple.
That's great.
It can be that simple.
People who want to get a hold of you, where can they find you?
Well, they can check my internet site. It's www.akris.net, or you can reach me through my telephone, 330-990-0788.
And it's interesting that you put that in every one of your emails. Your telephone is right there, right in front of everybody.
Well, you got to make yourself easy to get to. And I've had several people comment, Ron, I love it that the fact that your email has your phone number, because I don't have to remember it.
Exactly. Same with me.
Yeah, marketing 101.
It's been a true honor being with you today, Ron.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
And thank you for visiting with us today. Now, go out and make something happen.